What if I told you that nothing you have belongs to you? Kind of a startling statement, right? Like, no, nothing you have actually belongs to you. I know you might kind of say, well, I mean, my money and my house and my car and, my ability to play that instrument, and I can publicly speak pretty well. And, sure, I know that you've got gifts, and I know that you have talents, and I know that you have a house and a car and all those things, right? But technically speaking, they don't really belong to you. They're all gifts. They're all gifts from God. That breath you just took, that's a gift from God. Therefore, any abilities you have, the money you made, the house that you have and pay for with your job, all of it comes from the fact that you exist, and even that existence is a gift from God. It's all gift. Most people kind of balk at this, right? They'd be like, well, the church isn't socialist, right? The church is okay with personal property and private property, and it sure is. But the mindset of our Catholic faith should be that actually nothing I have belongs to me. It's all a gift. It's all a gift given from God. And when we believe this, we're actually put in a humble stature. We're put in a humble state, realizing that, man, I depend on Him for everything. Not only are we put in a humble stature, but it also makes us think to the fact that we're meant to be stewards. Because a steward, by definition, is a person that cares for and tends to and maintains another's property, right? They look over it, they make sure that it stays safe, that it's honored, that it's respected, that it's appreciated. And that is what we mean when we say stewardship. I know often we tend to think of stewardship as just, let me grab my wallet and make a donation, right? Or let me get a bag of clothes out of my closet and just start donating stuff, right? Or let me give you my time. I'll volunteer a bunch of time to do some stuff and sort things and, feed the hungry and all that's good. I'm not trying to say that not to do that, right? But I think what happens is that we can kind of get into that mode of volunteering our time and, giving back and spending the money and donating to a proper good cause in a loving manner. And that's all great, but we lose the basic biblical sense that we do that because really nothing you have belongs to you. You're a steward over the blessings and the gifts that God's given to you. But leaves us in a spot though. What do we do with that? Like, how do we even steward? How do we care for all that God's given us? I know sometimes we point to or think about like Noah's Ark, right? And I know Noah's Ark, that story, you see this family, you see Noah leading this family in the care of God's creation, in the care of God's animals, right? And starting a new world and a new earth. But that's not just true of Noah, that's meant to be somewhat true of us, that we also participate in taking care of all that God has given us, the many blessings, the many gifts. It's the reason why we have a care for the environment, why we have a care for the humane treatment of animals, why we care for other people, those who are less fortunate. It's why we decide to give and donate our time and all that stuff. It's because we know none of this belongs properly to me. So I'm supposed to freely give it. I heard it once said that, that shirt in your closet, the extra one you have, that doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the poor. I've heard it even also said, I like this one, it said something to the effect of, you work your job and you get your paycheck and, you see the taxes go for the government, right? But at the end of the day, you get your check when you get home. And God's like, hey, I'll make a deal with you. 90% of that check belongs to you, but the other 10%, I'm just asking for the other 10%. Please donate and give to another thing, and that's called tithing, right? But I don't want to get bogged down by the money thing, because that's not really what stewardship is about. Again, stewardship is the mentality, the worldview that actually nothing belongs to me, and I'm meant to give it freely. This made me think, though, as I reflected on this, right? What can I give God then? Right? If everything is a gift, right? The breath in my very lungs, everything is a gift. How do I give God a gift back? Like, it's just like, everything I give Him is just like giving back to Him like what He's already given to me. But that's also partly the point, right? We have free will. We're agents with free will. So the only thing that really I can give God, I can give Him my money, I can give Him clothes, I can donate, I can do all that stuff, and you should. But the best thing that God really wants is you. He wants your free gift of yourself back to Him, right? He wants you not just to give your money and your time and your energy, but He wants your will. He wants your heart. He wants you. And this is where that real depth of stewardship comes from. The real steward not just cares for, intends for, and manages the things that God's given us, but actually makes the free gift back. And the best gift back that God wants is you. And that's what's crazy. We didn't deserve any of these gifts. We didn't earn them. And not only that, but God doesn't need us. He doesn't need any of the things that we have. He doesn't need money. God's God whether we give Him gifts or not. God's God whether we worship Him or not. What he wants is you and me as a free gift back to him. That's astounding to think of. But if we miss that point, I think we miss the overall big point of what stewardship is all about. So that's my question to you today. What will you give back to God? And what will you give to others out of love for God as being a steward?